Right now, the western United States is facing one of the most extreme wildfire emergencies the country has seen in years. 84 large fires are burning across this country today, with 45 of them completely uncontained in Oregon and Washington alone. The National Interagency Fire Center has activated National Preparedness Level 5, the absolute maximum on a scale of 1 to 5. Oregon alone has burned 1.5 million acres this season. That is 4 times more than all of last year combined. So let's get right into it, because this is one of the most action-packed wildfire situations I've ever had to cover. All right, let's start in the Pacific Northwest, because Oregon is ground zero for this disaster, and the numbers are truly staggering. Oregon has 32 large fires burning primarily across central and eastern Oregon, with 12,200 personnel on the ground. Suppression costs in Oregon have now surpassed $260 million, already doubling the state's entire annual firefighting budget. The biggest story in Oregon right now is the Roe Creek complex in Wheeler County, about 20 miles southwest of the town of Fossil. This lightning-caused complex ignited on July 15th and has burned 300,592 acres as of this morning. It is 42% contained, but here's the thing. 3 separate fires merged on July 26th into one massive blaze. When fires merge like that, your containment numbers drop instantly, and over 2,000 personnel are working to hold our lines north of Highway 26. Moving southwest in Oregon, the bench fire on the Warm Springs Reservation has burned 45,000 acres and is only 3% contained. 3%, y'all, that is critically low, and this fire merged with the Beachcombe fire last Sunday, creating one enormous combined threat. Together, they have destroyed 11 homes and forced the entire Warm Springs tribal community under Level 3 Go Now evacuation orders. Here's a detail that puts this in perspective. About 3,000 residents in Warm Springs evacuated overnight in under 2 hours. The Big Grass Fire in the Vale District has burned 288,000 acres and is sitting at just 5% containment. The Shingle Fire has crossed county lines and is burning 64,000 acres at 6% containment, with Dayville under Level 2 evacuation. If you're driving on Highway 26 in that area, smoke is severely reducing visibility, so please use extreme caution on those roads right now. Near Sisters, Oregon, the Okawa Butte Fire is at 27,000 acres and 10% contained, with crews now transitioning into mop-up operations. Today, the Emergency Conflagration Act was invoked for the 11th time in 2026, a state record, for the new Grasshopper Fire in Wasco County. FEMA has approved fire management assistance grant funding for the Grasshopper Fire, and California, Utah, and Washington have already sent resources to help Oregon. Let's cross into Washington state, because the Kaiser Canyon fire is one of the most heartbreaking stories of this entire wildfire season. Kaiser Canyon ignited July 16th from a lightning strike on the Colville Reservation, 1 mile south of Nespelem in Okanogan County. As of this morning, it has burned 126,000 acres and is sitting at just 16% containment. That 16% containment figure has not changed since July 23rd, despite more than 1,000 personnel being assigned to fight this fire. 20 structures have been destroyed, 800 more are threatened, and approximately 1,000 people have been displaced from the Colville Reservation. The most sobering moment of this entire season came when flames approached within 2 miles of Chief Joseph's historic Nez Perce Cemetery. It narrowly escaped, but that close call cannot be overstated, because those are sacred sites that simply cannot ever be replaced. State Route 155 remains closed from Park City Loop Road to Haley Road. Check current evacuation levels before traveling in Okanogan County. All right, let's drop down into the Great Tussin, because Nevada is dealing with 4 large fires covering over 55,000 acres right now. 2 of Nevada's 4 large fires, the New Pass and the Quail Springs, are sitting at 0% containment this morning. Nevada has issued a season-long air quality advisory, not for a week or a month, but covering the entire fire season. That tells you how seriously state officials are taking the combination of extreme heat and persistent smoke blanketing the Great Basin this summer. Let's go to Colorado, where the Aspen Acres fire is the 8th largest in state history and has now been burning for 1 full month. As of July 29th, Aspen Acres has burned 101,900 acres and is 66% contained. Over 850 structures have been destroyed, including 319 homes. A devastating and heartbreaking toll on southern Colorado communities. A recovery assistance center is open at Beulah Heights Elementary in Pueblo, and all mandatory evacuation orders have been reduced as of July 25th. We honor Nicholas Dale, a pilot from Canada, who gave his life on July 12th fighting the Gold Mountain fire near Ouray, a true hero. Gold Mountain near Ouray is at 40,000 acres and 59% containment, with backing and smoldering replacing the earlier extreme fire behavior. And don't sleep on Minnesota. The Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness has been completely closed since mid-July due to catastrophic wildfires. Governor Tim Walz declared a peacetime emergency, activated the National Guard, and at least 8 people have been evacuated across northeastern Minnesota. Minnesota's air quality index peaked at 617. The maximum normal QI is 66, nearly 10 times the danger threshold. Now here's something that affects every single person watching this, no matter where you live. This smoke is not staying in the West. Smoke from Oregon and Washington is riding the jet stream eastward across the northern plains, the Great Lakes, and into the mid-Atlantic. Forecasters say this smoke plume could reach Florida by week's end, so hazy skies are on their way to the southeastern United States. The smoke contains PM2.5, microscopic particulate matter smaller than a human hair that can lodge deep in your lungs and enter the bloodstream. For eastern and central Oregon residents, stay indoors, close your windows, run your AC on recirculate, and wear an N95 if going outside. But here's where it gets really interesting, because the next 48 hours are setting up to be critical for potential new fire starts. The National Weather Service is flagging isolated dry thunderstorms this morning over southern Idaho, and let me explain why that term should concern everyone. A dry thunderstorm produces lightning just like any other storm, but the rain evaporates completely before it ever reaches the ground. You get thousands of lightning strikes hitting bone-dry vegetation with zero moisture to stop the ignitions. The exact pattern that started this crisis. On the night of July 15th, thousands of these lightning strikes rained across the Cascades and eastern Oregon, igniting dozens of fires at once. Scattered storms are expected this afternoon across Utah, Wyoming, and Montana. Some will bring rain, but dry lightning cells could spark new fires. For the Pacific Northwest, no thunderstorms are in the forecast today, but minimum relative humidity is running just 10 to 20% this afternoon. Fire weather forecasters flag anything below 30% as elevated fire danger, and the Pacific Northwest is sitting well below that threshold right now. Temperatures across the southern plains today range from 95 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, from North Texas through western Oklahoma. Eastern Montana and the Dakotas are at 85 to 100 degrees, with California and the Great Basin running 5 to 15 above normal. That layer of hot, dry air is not going anywhere, and this is exactly the setup that fire weather forecasters lose sleep over. Northeastern Oregon also has a dry thunderstorm threat arriving Thursday afternoon, which could produce new lightning ignitions across an already overwhelmed firefighting system. The bottom line: the next 48 hours bring dangerous heat, critically low humidity, and dry thunderstorm potential across multiple western states simultaneously. All right, let's talk about the extended outlook, because the NIFC's August forecast is genuinely alarming and I want to walk you through it. The NIFC is forecasting above normal fire potential through all of August for the Pacific Northwest, central Idaho, western Wyoming, northern Nevada, and northeast California. Now I want to be straight with you. Some of yesterday's model runs were showing completely different solutions, and the uncertainty is real. Both major models, the GFS and the European ECMWF, agree no significant moisture change is coming to the Pacific Northwest through early August. Here's the meteorological mechanism driving all of this, and it comes down to two things: a strengthening El Niño and a failing monsoon. Think of El Niño as a giant thermostat that shifts the jet stream northward, keeping the Pacific Northwest locked in hot and dry conditions. The monsoon is the seasonal surge of moisture that normally sweeps into the southwest in July and August, and right now it is feeling. Losing that monsoon moisture at this point in the season is a significant blow to natural fire suppression across the southwest and Great Basin. Climate scientists note that the western snow drought setting up this entire crisis was made 4 times more likely by climate change. It was a classic chain: a historic warm winter, record low snowpack, severe drought, then dry heat, and then more lightning and wind. Now let me walk you through the 3 scenarios for what the rest of August could look like, from best case to worst case. Best case: a ridge break in mid-August allows Pacific moisture to push inland, raising humidity values and helping slow the most active fire areas. In that scenario, we would see meaningful containment gains on Roe Creek, Kaiser Canyon, and the bench fire by the third week of August. Middle scenario, El Nino holds, the ridge anchored over the northwest, and active fire behavior continues with dry thunderstorm threats every few days. In this scenario, Oregon's suppression costs could approach $400 million, and the major fires in both states remain active into mid-August. Worst case scenario, another major dry thunderstorm event, similar to July 15th, ignites dozens of new fires simultaneously or across already stretched firefighting resources nationwide. My goodness. In that worst case, Level 5 national preparedness hold through the end of August, with even more international fire teams requested. Here's what to watch. If this above normal fire outlook holds at day 5 and day 4, the models are converging on a clear signal. If that signal holds through day 5, day 4, and day 3, I'll have daily updates breaking down every new model run right here. The silver lining is that the Aspen Acres fire in Colorado is 66% contained and all mandatory evacuation orders have been lifted. At Cowa Butte near Sisters, Oregon has transitioned to mop-up operations. Proof that with resources and a weather window, even massive fires can be controlled. I'll be honest, with Oregon's largest fires below 5% containment and Kaiser Canyon stuck at 16%, the next 2 weeks are absolutely critical. All right, let's bring it home. This is a rapidly developing situation, and fire perimeters are changing every single day across the American West. If you live in a fire-threatened area across the West, have a go bag ready, know your evacuation zone, and monitor your local emergency alerts. Our thoughts are with every firefighter on those fire lines, every evacuated family, and every community holding its breath across the American West tonight. I'll have daily updates as this outbreak evolves. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications right now so you don't miss a single one. These are real people in a real crisis. I'll see you in the next one, and please stay safe out there, everyone.